What's going on, guys? Today I woke up this morning and saw that Bandai released a bunch of information on a whole lot of kits. The only thing is that it's all in Japanese. However, I found this Facebook post by Figure for Life, and shout out to them. They've collated all of the information from the Japanese blog websites and put it all here. You can see there's a whole bunch of photos. There's 105 photos. So let's just click through and see the details of each one. For the first time, we can see the PG Nu Unleashed Gundam has the fin funnels separated and on display in the unleashed form. The next photo is a little blurry, but what we can see is a detailed look at the Gundam. I noticed now they've used decals which actually blend in much better with the armor, whereas previously you could obviously see an outline. This definitely looks like a final version over here compared to what was there previously. A lot of intricate details you can analyze if you look at this for a little bit longer. But let's move on. The next photo is from a different angle. I think it's really cool that you can peek into the inner frame and get a sense of the metallic parts coming through. Unlike the PG RX-78-2 where you had to open everything up before you could see the inner frame, this is really cool as where everything is closed, you can still see some of the parts coming through. Over here is from a front angle. The gold parts look very, very shiny. The lighting does make it look very, very nice. And here's a close-up of the real thing. What I noticed is that the color separation between these parts, we have black over here. I know for the RG kit in particular, these blue parts would all be the same, but I can see it's kind of like black almost, and these are like dark blue. Even the metal parts are slightly different color. This one is more gold and this one's a little bit more yellow. Very interesting to see. And what's usually here that's dark grey for the RG kits is now metallic, which is really cool. Here is a look at the unleashed fin funnels. You can see they're protruding out a little bit and then the flaps open. They have the green foil stickers. Very, very cool. Skipping through, here we have a more detailed look of what the kit looks like in a different form. I like how Bandai this time put several different variations of the kit so you can kind of see what it looks like if you were to pose it differently. We're going to have a look at some of these runners later as well. As some of you pointed out from my first video, this contains as many parts as a high grade kit, which is insane to think about. Imagine how long this is going to take to build, but the level of detail is on a different level. Over here we have a breakdown of the weapons. What I noticed straight away is that the shield can go into unleashed form. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. The bazooka and the beam rifle have insane levels of detail, and I think this must be a holder. I think from the CG renders you can also change the formation of this gun to look like a different style as well. And oh my goodness, look at these runners. The gold and silver look beautiful, and look at the size of the shield. I don't want to exaggerate this, but this looks like the length of a high grade or master grade runner. That is crazy. I don't want to be a little critical, but these look like they're not undergated, so that could be annoying. I really do hope a lot of parts are undergated, like the MGEX Strike Freedom Gundam. The size of these fingers is absolutely insane. This once again looks like the length of an entire HG or MG runner. Wow. Some of you may have already dealt with these foil stickers before, so you know that these things are not that small. And compared to this looks gigantic. These look like the biggest hands I've ever seen Bandai make. These look kind of sturdy. I think they fixed the issue of the loose fingers by including slots where you slide the fingers into place and then lock it in. This should definitely be more secured than these crappy ball joints where they had on the MG kits, and they'll just fall out so easily. I believe Bandai has fixed their long-running issue with the posable hands. Here we have a picture of the Nu Gundam with the eyes covered and half of the inner frame showing. Wow, this looks stunning. This one doesn't even have the decals applied, but you can already see the level of detail is on a whole nother dimension. Here's a close-up of the kit. Feel free to pause and look at the intricate details. It looks so much better compared to the CG. One critique I do have though is, what is this nub mark here? Why is it so obvious? I think that is just not cleaned up properly, but I really hope they don't have obvious nub marks on this kit. I also noticed that they have a lot of these like frame parts where it's like see-through and they just layer it on. I can't imagine seeing any other kits with this much detail ever. I really like the cables as well. They definitely add another dimension. Here's an angle from the side. You can see the arm and the leg is so detailed. All the different parts all coming together makes it look beautiful. Wow, you can see the leg part over here. This gold, it even looks like a skeletal structure within the frame. That is incredible. And here is where Bandai let us down. These lights are absurdly expensive and they only light up the chest and the head. I don't think it's worth it. We'll see how it is. Moving on, we can see here there's a new version of the Astray. I'm not sure how I feel about this. The head looks very, very different. Okay, moving on, we have a new type of Gundam over here, a Ver.Ka. Looking very nice, but I think it does look like things that already exist. Iron-Blooded Orphan section. Surprisingly, Bandai is releasing a lot of Barbatos kits. Here we have the Lupus. The annoying thing is the cool looking Lupus here with the eye effects and the shoulder effects and the big sword. This is a P Bandai product. How annoying is that? I think the MG Barbatos Lupus is coming out very soon, in a month or two, and it does look very, very cool. It's been a few years since we got a Barbatos. Top view looking very nice, very detailed. I heard they fixed the joints in the feet and the shoulders because those were always annoying and loose as hell. Different poses looking very nice. This looks insane, but so annoying that it's P Bandai. Something mysterious, but it's also P Bandai, so let's move on. Here I've already covered the MG-EX Strike Freedom Clear, so we can move on. We have a different type of color for the Epyon, looking good, looking nice. And we have the GQuuuuuX section. Okay, so this says Luminous Resin, the pink inner frame. Apparently it glows in the dark as green. I hope you liked the video. I'm going to keep tracking the PG Nu Gundam to see if there's any more information. And when it comes out next year, I'm going to be making videos on that as well.